Aneta Hayes from Keele University in the UK. Her recent book on international student mobility to and from the Middle East came out just last week. So over to you, Aneta.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Krishna, for this introduction and for the invitation here today. Um, yes, my name is Aneta Hayes. I am senior lecturer in education at Keele University, and as you can see, I research international students mobility and international students internationalization. So I look at critical studies of internationalization, particularly around areas of decolonization and constructions of international students. So I'm interested in exploring this concept of how international students are internationalized. So maybe we should start talking about students as internationalized rather than international. So this is the kind of concept I'm trying to develop in my work. Today, seeing that the focus was on COVID-19 and spaces in particular, I thought it made sense to talk about my recent project that I've completed with international students. And the title of the project was Walking Indoors to Understand International Students as Agents of Knowledge. And what the project involved, it involved international students that were trapped in university accommodation during the lockdown here in the UK. And we asked students to walk in their rooms, either physically or using multimedia such as video, for example, or diaries, to record their interactions with the spaces and to understand how through those interactions they were employing their epistemic frames to learn the curriculum. So it was important for us in the project to understand the relationship between students' agency in the learning process, the space in which they were trapped, that was characterized by constraint and isolation, and subjectivities of students' knowledge production. So we wanted to see how those spaces were shaping students' learning, and how students were reaching out beyond those spaces, even though they were trapped in the spaces, to access their epistemic frames to learn. So as I said earlier, students were walking around the rooms, filming their engagement with spaces. We also asked the students to draw the maps of the rooms to understand the physical arrangements in which they were studied, and they were given some prompts to answer, while they were narrating their walks. So we asked them why they walked to these spaces, why these spaces were important, and why the artifacts that they were producing were important, and what the meaning of it was, and how they were using them for learning. And students really shared an impressive range of different artifacts. They've submitted videos, they've submitted arts, they've submitted sounds, pictures, clips of conversations. We've received over 70 data points that were really, really impressive. And all those points have shown us, how students were turning their attention to self as learners, and how they were relearning how to learn through the experiences of lockdown. So the value of the material, so it was all about the value of the material and how the students were attuning themselves to the material with which they were working. And that gave us insights into subjectivities of learning and their epistemological resources. And that captured very well their agency, in the sense of being an effective charge towards the material, towards the space, and how they were attuning themselves to things to make learning out of them. I'm sure you're aware that there's quite a lot of discourse around international students as being in deficit, and being passive learners. And we're really trying to challenge this idea. And this particular project has shown this really well, especially under conditions, working in the conditions of lockdown. So I'll stop talking now because I know I have limited time, so I don't want to take over. Thank you for listening. Thanks.
Thank you so much.